I hope everybody is doing well. We are going to get going in a second. And as you can see, we are watching the Bitcoin mempool. On a typical day, the Bitcoin network confirms around 300,000 transactions by mining an average of 144 blocks. The website that we are looking at, it is called bits.monospace.live. It is one of my favorite Bitcoin visualizations. It is the digital Yule log. This website called Bitfeed, they attempt to visualize the flow of this information. As new transactions are received by the nodes, they drop into the mempool to await confirmation, and that is what we are watching. I hope you guys are having a magical day. We are about to kick stuff off in about 30 seconds. What is going on? How is everybody doing? I am recording my podcast. I am going live on YouTube. I am going live on X, and I am also Twitching it, going live on all these things simultaneously. If you are tuning in, I so appreciate it. Leave comments. I have no idea how to view the comments, so there's really no need to leave any comments, especially hate mail. Like you can just keep that to yourself. Let's get into it, okay? So there are some neat things going on, and we are not going to mess around. And so this is what's also interesting. While a lot of people think the market is dead, I wake up every morning and run through a bunch of analytics, and sometimes there are these small shifts that I see that make me excited. Like today, I'm excited. So we have Gala Games. They were hacked. Nyan Heroes has their debut. Chili's, ticker sign CHZ. It is projected to go parabolic. Bitcoin consolidates and Coinbase adds Core, ticker sign CORE. Chaos to clarity, noise to the narrative. It is Monday, May 27th, and it is time for some rare bits. Today, the crypto greed and fear index is coming in at a 74. We have slid 1 degree from yesterday. We used to be in extreme greed. Now we are in the greed zone. I actually prefer this zone. It usually represents a bit more stability. NFT sentiment is also in the greed zone. Top crypto search term for the normies is BounceBit, ticker sign BB. It is up 117% on the 7-day, which means it's up drastically in the last 24 hours. We're going to touch on that toward the end of the segment. Top NFT search term for the normies is Madonna NFT Centipede. Let your imagination do what it will, and you will arrive at the exact place that this artwork looks like. So go do some research on that and have fun. Bitcoin dominance, it is down for the 24 hours, while Ethereum dominance continues to climb. And this is neat. We are at about 17.86%. Do we see 18% dominance in the market? That would be absolutely huge for Ethereum. This is one of the higher numbers that I have reported. So watching this analytic just slowly bump up is, I don't know, it excites me. Not because I have a ton of Ethereum, just because I like watching shifts in sentiment, in change, in analytics, in numbers moving, in behavioral patterns changing, and these numbers represent those things. These are just the start of these changes about to happen. So numbers for the nerds. Before we get into some news, let's jump into some numbers for the nerds because I know everybody likes that. So we are going to check some things out and look at that. We are looking at the crypto heat map, and at the moment, it's a jolly green giant sea of green. What are we talking about? So looking at the crypto bubbles with changes in market cap and just what is going on, we see a sea of green. It makes me so happy. What are we talking about? Bitcoin has reclaimed $70,000, currently trading at $70,540. Ethereum is at 3,966. Do we hit 4,000 today? Absolutely. BNB trading at 614. We've been watching this in my podcast since 300. So happy. Solana at 177. Do we see it get momentum from all of these other things, or do we have momentum on its own? We're going to touch on some news where analysts say that Solana might be in trouble. Dogecoin, it is up 0.2% on the hour, 3% on the day, 14% on the week. 17% on the month, and only 136% on the year. continue to watch this. It's an easy play, that one. Looking at some of the metrics from TradingView, we have the oscillators, the summary, and the moving averages. Basically, we are looking at basically a good time to buy Bitcoin. We did just see it reclaim $70,000. Do we think it continues to stay in that momentum, or do we see a retrace? Before we get into some news and other things, I wanted to touch on some things in the NFT space. We see Ethereum at the lead at the moment, just kind of crushing the competition. Ethereum NFTs are up 36% on the 24 hours. Bitcoin is up 38% on the 24 hours. Solana is up 6%. What are we talking about? Ethereum's done about 5.6 million. Bitcoin has done 4.6, and Solana's down at 2.7. Other notable movers, Polygon has slid down a bit. We have Immutable, Mythos, Blast. They have slid down 67% in the last 24 hours. Flow, there's some interesting ones. I just want to go to the bottom of this list while we're here. And Phantom, this is another player that I think has some interesting play. And this is also interesting. So Arbitrum, which is one of the top moving tokens in the last 24 hours, as far as the gaming NFT side of things, there is very little movement. These things absolutely have correlation. Even if they haven't crossed yet, they will. So these are just things to keep in mind when you're looking at these ecosystems. Looking at the Ethereum NFT heat map, just a changing of the guard. Holy man, we have Pixelmon in the number 1 spot. We have Milady Maker in the number 2 spot. Usually those are held by the Bored Apes or Pudgy Penguins. We have just seen this is a big shift. Like, it doesn't seem like it is, but it is big. We are going to look at some of the top sales in the ecosystem. If you are following along in the video, yeah, you can see what's going on. If you are listening to just the podcast, tune into the video, check some stuff out. I'll mention the top 3 or 4. We have Azuki and CryptoPunks rounding out the top. They basically represent the top 4. We had an Azuki Spirit sell for 100 Ethereum. That is about $375,000 in today's market. Couple CryptoPunks sold. We have Bored Apes on the move again. It looks like their price is going up, coming in at about 15.55 Ethereum, aka $58,000. So you could get a 3D wearing cheetah skin. Wow, that's amazing. The floor price is down. Is this a time to get in? Are you guys thinking about some of these iconic collections as a time to get in, or do you see the prices continuing to go down? Please leave word in the comments. I don't read them. I don't know how to read them, so just save it. How about that? Looking at some of the top moving collections on the Ethereum side, which are different than the top sales, we have Pixelmon, Milady Maker, Azuki, Bored Ape Yacht Club, and the Wrapped CryptoPunks rounding out the top 5. When we are looking at floor prices across the board, everything is down. Something that is interesting, while we saw Pixelmon garner that top left spot on the Ethereum heat map, it is also down 43% on the 24 hours. While volume is up, is that people rushing for the door? If it is, I will try and find out what the story is on that, and I will try and post something in my Substack mañana. Looking at the Solana heat map, I hope you can see it. We have, all the colors are in there at the moment. It is on the top end, we see a sentiment of retrace. On the middle end, we see kind of people are okay. And so this is one of the things that excites me, okay? Getting up and looking at the metrics. So the Solana side, usually the top, for the past, it's been commandeered by 2 or 3 collections. We have not seen Claynosaurus back in the top sales. So it is awesome to see we had a Clayno sell for 78 salamis. That is about $13,000. We have a beautiful Mad Lass sold for 140 salamis. $23,000. We have SMBs just back on the chart. They are kicking up some dust. So these little things make me happy. Looking at the top 5 moving collections on the Solana ecosystem, we have Mutanmon, Famous, Fox Federation, Soul SPL 20s, the Backwoods. Are they back? Are they kicking up dust again? We will see. And the Magic Ticket rounding out the top 5. Okay, this is another metric that gets me excited. And I report on these top sales all the time. So looking at the top sales on the Bitcoin ecosystem, we have OMB, we have Node Monkeys, and we have some of Udi's work. So what is interesting, and I commented on this yesterday, while we see these OMBs are selling, we haven't really seen anything sell but the Gold Eyes, which is the newest addition to the collection. So this is the first time I've seen a green eye sell for quite some time. It sold for $22,888. That is 0.33 Bitcoin. And because it interests me and I just like to see where things are going, I wanted to pull up the differential on this super quick. So we are looking at the floor price on the OMB. The gold eyes are coming in at about 0.2499 Bitcoin. If we go to the eye color, so the first tier up would be the green, and those are coming in at 0.42 Bitcoin, where the red eyes have a 3 Bitcoin floor and the blue eyes have a 3.98 floor. So there has not been a lot of movement in the upper end echelon of this collection, but the bottom end, people are just getting in and out as the price of Bitcoin seems to go up and down because we have the interest and attention span of flies. Looking at the top 100 runes, if you are looking at what I see, everything is red except the number 3 collection. Top 5 movers are Fihu, Dog Go to the Moon, Arctic Genesis Rune, Pups World Peace, and Bank of Nakamoto Dollar. So the only thing that has positive movement is the Arctic Genesis Rune. Again, I do not know why it is moving in that direction, but I will try and find out and report on that in my Substack, which reminds me, if you don't subscribe to my Substack, what are you doing? I wake up and put it out super early in the morning. Next, getting into the blockchain games, which are going to be an awesome narrative and such a huge part of this ecosystem. Whether you are a digital art collector, a degen flipping coins, there is information within these gaming systems to make plays off of and enjoy yourself more than you already do. Top 5 games, we have Axie Infinity, the number 1 spot. They usually are there. They're on the Ronin blockchain. Sometimes the lowest I've seen Axie Infinity is about number 9. And it's interesting when somebody replaces it. Why are they replacing it? Is it just public sentiment? Is there a coin that is associated with it is driving the attention to cause this particular analytic to move in a way that favors it? Not in a gaming world, but in a degen world. And these are going to overlap in such an interesting way moving forward. We have stuff about the future president, whether they're going to be pro-Bitcoin, no matter what side you're on. It looks like there is going to be a Bitcoin and cryptocurrency narrative as part of how we move forward. So these are wonderful things to see. They make me happy. Okay, back to it. Sorry. Top 5 movers for the games. We have Axie Infinity, The New Order, Pancake Protector, Legend of Arcadia, and Song of Rising. Next up, we're just going to touch on Shrapnel because they are continuing to make a presence. They hold a live X space playing, showing the gameplay. It is absolutely fantastic. So I like the dust that they're kicking up. Nyan Heroes, we talked about them. We're not going to get into anything else at the moment, but I did want to touch on this. So the normie analytics search that I do every single morning, it is informative in its own way. Things pop up on this list. They usually do not set off a radar initially. This particular one, I just wanted to do some investigating because this token, BB, BounceBit, was up so drastically over the last 24 hours. So I pulled up the website. It is earn yield from your idle Bitcoin with BounceBit BTC restaking. So restaking is going to be and continues to be an absolutely huge narrative in the crypto space. A lot of times people are under the misconception that you buy crypto and that money is tied up. You can buy crypto and immediately stake it and get the money back to do something else with. So the DeFi side of this crypto industry is so immense and so thick, and there are so many different ways to explore, not only to get your capital back, but to incur point systems that generate additional income. It's absolutely interesting what people are doing. This BounceBit looks like it might be an interesting token. They have a bunch of sponsors on board. I am not going to get into all the stuff. This is not an advertisement. I know nothing about this. I was just doing some research. Sometimes when this stuff pops up on the screen, I want to share it with you just because why is it kicking up so much dust and why is there so much movement around it? So that is that. That is what I wanted to get into. Next up, we are going to look at the top coins. So as far as volume, Shiba Inu continues to just lead the pack with about $15.07 billion worth of trading in the last 24 hours, followed by Pepe, which has just been on a historic tear, continuing to hit all-time highs. People normie friends are asking me, is it too late to get in on these? I do not think it is. We are just going into summer. I see the narrative for Ethereum continuing to get better and better. I think some interesting plays. Pepe and Mog are two great coins. I do not think they're done. I have a friend, I've been telling him about these coins for quite some time. And every week I say, did you buy it? He said, no, not yet. So I just sent him the price update from when he was first told about it and when it would be a smart play to where we are now. So he's down bad. Anyway, those are interesting coins. I love watching these things move. And again, so looking at the top tokens, Arbitrum, number 3, right? Doing $3.21 billion worth of transactions. And we saw the Arbitrum ecosystem on the gaming side all the way down at number 19, I believe, just above Phantom, which is also a gaming ecosystem that has a narrative that is about to explode. So these things that are things are starting to happen. So I'm starting to see these shifts, and I try and tell you about them. We have Dog with Hat, we have Floki and Bonk continuing to just move at a positive pace. Now, we get to some of the, I got to take a coffee horn for this. So we have the top tokens, and this is very different than the volume movement. So the top tokens in the last 24 hours were MAGA, Jenner, Kermit, Groove, King, and Pepe. Did it sound like I said Jenner? I did. So first off, the biggest mover was a new MAGA token that came out on Solana. It is currently priced at about $7.96 million market cap. So it's just another one of these coins that is trying to bank off of a narrative that exists. And it's probably a pump and dump. So some people did really well on it. Then we had this interesting coin pop up yesterday, and it's one of the reasons why being in this space is so fun and interesting and always evolving. And if you weren't here when it happened, you missed it. We have Caitlyn Jenner that has entered the ecosystem of pump fund coins. She released a token called Jenner. It is currently, I pulled this photo this morning when I was doing my report. It was at about 28.87 million market cap. We are not even going to check in on what it is now because I'm not going to advise anybody to do anything. I am just saying this narrative popped up where Caitlyn Jenner was saying, hey, this is me. This is not AI. I just got off the golf course and I decided to have some fun and release a cryptocurrency token. You can go buy it. It's called Jenner. The underlying narrative is also interesting. The dev who supposedly contacted Caitlyn to say, hey, let's put this together is a dev who is notorious for rugging other collections and just being a malicious actor in the space. So it sounds like this dev delivered part of what was said to be delivered, but the whole story was not supplied to Caitlyn, and it seems like Caitlyn could have made more money than she did. So there's an interesting narrative, whether this coin goes up or down. If it is truly Caitlyn, I'm sure it will continue to go up because it's just getting started. And when shit gets weird, it gets good. Like the DGens love these stories, and the weirdest outcome is usually the one that resonates. And if it is true and does resonate, that is the coin that is going to, I don't know, just make some heads turn in every way. So the third coin is Kermit. I know nothing about this. It's under $1 million market cap. These are not plays. I'm just reporting on stuff that has been happening. I want you guys to DYOR. And then let's get into some news that caught my attention. So I mentioned that Gala was hacked. The attacker stole about $240 million worth of the Gala tokens, but decided to return about $22 million. Gala also decided to make some of the recipients of this malicious activity whole by sending them tokens. They also agreed to burn some of their supply, thus raising the token value of everybody else's tokens. So it appears they are attempting to make everyone whole again. So it is good to see when these malicious actors get a hold and are able to commandeer the system. It's nice to see these back-end companies decide that they are going to do some stuff to make people whole. We have Cool Cats. They are launching their art contest. It is featuring characters from the Milk Chug series. Create art and win valuable NFTs. Behind me, I have one of the Cool Cat sculptures from their Macy's Day Parade. I have not decorated mine, but I just love these initiatives where not only are they getting actionable things from collectors, they are touching base with the younger fan base. And that is the people, in my view, that NFTs and all of this stuff should be directed toward. That headspace, getting them to understand what digital provenance is and ownership is at this young age. And I don't know, it's important. So watching collections truly make the shift to connect with the younger generation is where the win will happen 10 years down the road. So it's nice to see these shifts happening. We have moved to earn games across the board are just starting to gain different sorts of notoriety from, there are apps where you can drive around and record via video and get points. There are a bunch of initiatives. So if you are physically fit and interested, look for some Move to Go apps because there's some neat stuff happening. And why is it happening? Well, it's happening because a lot of these blockchains are becoming gasless and transaction free to do these transactions. It enables tracking, data management. It enables the AI to do so many things that we were never able to do before. So these developments are exciting to see. And what's also nice is getting in early to these initiatives sometimes yields really interesting results. And I do want to comment. So yesterday, I also commented that Stepan introduced something new. So be wary with this stuff because sometimes these companies institute changes and the OG people are not happy with the new direction. But that is the name of the game, and that is how these narratives do play out. So with everything good, there is something bad. So with all these things, there is a modicum of caution that I would like to express to all of you if you decide to jump into any of these things. Next up, we have Ton Launchpad. They are going to facilitate investments in promising projects within the Ton ecosystem. They are going to be tossing out a ton of money, and we like to see it. So keep Ton Coin on your radar because some of the stuff they are kicking up has been interesting. And again, it is one of those stories that does not seem to want to stop. We have Nina Chanel Abney CryptoPunk inspired avatars. They are getting ready to come out. They will be sent to different collectors. There has been a bunch of hoorah about this. I'm not sure why. Let artists be artists. And in my view, anytime art is released and people bitch, gripe, and complain about it, the artist has won. It is about creating controversy and instituting a narrative for community engagement. And Nina has done that in spades. I'm a fan of, I like the artwork. I'm a fan of the whole thing. So everybody that puts the kibosh on it, yeah, fuck off. Let artists be artists. Holy shit. Do you guys have anything better to do than complain about shit? And speak of the devil, we have Yuga Labs creator Bored Ape Yacht Club. They are unveiling plans for a fucking gamified future. Everything is going to be a game. It's time to roll the dice with these MFers. Yo, where's the clubhouse? That is what I'm interested in. I'm down here in Miami. I think I moved here for the clubhouse. I had an ape, but it was hacked from me, so I have not recovered from that. But if you guys get the clubhouse together, I will be super stoked, and I hope you can pull that together. So it's nice to see you guys continue to push this stuff. And supposedly there is going to be an integrated merchandise future for the Bored Ape Yacht Club. We're talking franchises. We're talking expanding. Is this shit going to be in Disneyland? Is that where we're going in? Are you going to see the Bored Apes in the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum in Hollywood? It is all coming down the pike. Just keep your pants buckled up. We have Prom. They are integrating Phantom with NFTs. This is all the stuff that I'm talking about. I just checked on Phantom. As far as the blockchains go, it's last place. There's no more room to go down other than Phantom. They are kicking up dust. There is new narratives forming. Start to watch this stuff because these things at the bottom, maybe they've been at the bottom because they've been building and now they're just starting to get stuff together. I know they hired a new CMO, so expect to start seeing some stuff come through the cracks. You heard it here first. So I'm just trying to keep you guys informed. I think all this stuff is neat. Basically, this Prom and Fandom integration is just going to yeah, create better user experiences. And next up, we have chiles. This is not the food. It's not the food. It is the token. People are doing some technical analysis. They're getting super bullish on it. What are we talking? We're talking about they're talking about it going up 351%. And how do they arrive at that number? Because they shake one of those magic 8 balls. I don't know how they come up with these numbers, but they're saying a breakout is coming. These are interesting individuals. I look at their technical analysis on a number of different coins. When something jumps out at me, I bring it to you. If you're more interested, read my Substack because there's more information on it. Now, we have a shot looking at Bitcoin whale addresses within the last 24 hours. You can see that blue. It is saying that they are climbing. We have Bitcoin consolidating. When I wrote this, Bitcoin was still at 69,000. We're going to do one more quick check-in and see what we are at this moment. So we are continuing the move in direction we want, currently at 70,372. Does this continue? Leave your thoughts and comments. Again, I'm not going to read them, and I don't care. So no bother leaving them because nobody's going to see them. That's not true. Like, there are people that have responded on YouTube, and every single person I reach out and respond to them. And thank God it's only been 2 people, but I will absolutely respond. Next up, we have the ETFs with Ethereum, right? Has it been priced in? Is it going to go parabolic? It is causing movement in some coins that are worth thinking about, like Link, which is, the ticker sign is LNK. The coin is called Chainlink. These are going to be just effects off of the Ethereum. We're seeing Pepe and Mog. These also are going up because of that same thing. Watch Uniswap, watch Arbitrum. Arbitrum was the number 3 as far as volume in the last 24 hours. Again, their ecosystem is all the way down at the bottom. These are narratives where there's interest and change, token prices going up, new developments. So start to do some research, read my Substack. These are plays that are going to develop over the next 6 months, which is really exciting because these get-rich things also are go-bust-quick things, right? It's the flip of a coin. Get rich quick, yes, if you're super lucky. It's also go-bust-quick, and people are losing just as bad as they're winning. These are smart plays with narratives that you just sit and hodl, right? So these are some things that kind of make me smile, and watching these shifts in analytics and some of the things percolating. I woke up this morning and there's news. Like, this is interesting stuff to me. We have Pepe and Mog. Pepe just saw its all-time high, hitting 11% increase. Mog surged by 45% the other day. All of this is driven by different narratives underlying these coins. Read my Substack. We follow what these narratives are. These narratives are signals of what's to come. That's the only way I can say this without it being financial advice, because I don't do that. But I watch stuff, and stuff that's neat to watch. You get good at watching it and think, wow, that horse looks like it might run faster. That's it. That's what we're doing here, right? The Uniswap Foundation, again, we're talking about this token not only because of stuff that's happening with Ethereum, and it's creating this narrative that supports all the Uniswap stuff. The Uniswap Foundation just revealed that it holds about 41.41 million in cash and stable coins. What are they going to be doing with this? They're going to be floating it around in 2024 and 25 with grants and initiatives to get people involved in their ecosystem. If you have a brilliant idea, contact these MFers and maybe they'll toss you some of this wonderful coin that they are sitting on. We have the different Ethereum layer 2s exploding across the ecosystem. If you are watching online, look at this chart. There is everything from infrastructure to lending and borrowing to swapping to derivatives to asset management, better predictions. There's reporting, there's aggregators, yield farming, data, Oracle tools, wallets, tracking, privacy, payment and transfer, bridges, community enhancement, NFT gaming, and sidechains. That is what I'm talking about, this DeFi ecosystem that is emerging. There is so much to investigate in this ecosystem. When you put money in, you are not just letting it sit idle. You begin to investigate and go to work. These layer 2 ecosystems are thriving. It is changing the game for everything, absolutely everything. And it, again, this stuff absolutely excites me. So I try and share that excitement with you. Aptos blockchain, it just set new transaction records. Does it surpass Solana? It may have in the 24 hours. And it's also interesting to watch this stuff. So they have DeFi, infrastructure, launchpads, NFT and games, and wallets all on their platform specifically. There are people that do not leave that ecosystem. They are diehards, and I am not a fan of diehards or maxis. I love to understand their narrative, why they believe so strongly in something. And there are people that are soldiers over there. It is something that I wanted to share with you because, again, the narratives are changing. If you are a maxi and you are stuck on one particular chain or idea, you've lost the narrative. One of my favorite things about art and design is always fall in love with the problem. As an artist or a creator, you see a problem or a designer, you come up with a solution and you give that reality, you fabricate it, and it might not always be the best solution. You have to stay in love with that problem and continue to search for the best way. That is what the difference about being a maxi is. The maxis miss the narrative when it changes. So that's why I bring this stuff to you, because there are interesting narratives, there are underlying stories. One may resonate with you more than others, as so many of these maxis have fallen into a story and they just decide this is the car that I ride in. It's almost similar to the to the political situation that we're in, where people decide they're a Republican or Democrat and stop listening to the issues. This is not a home team event, right? You're not representing where you're from. The issues are important. The day-to-day minutia of everything is important. It is so unfortunate you have to say I'm one or the other. We have a vote. We shouldn't have to say anything. Say it with your vote, right? But keep open-minded to all of these things that are constantly changing. So that's all I'm trying to do. All right, and I told you when I set the notice out that I give news and updates and unwanted commentary, and that's exactly what you're getting right now. It is time for a coffee horn. Okay, so we're almost done. We have Coinbase. They just added Core, ticker sign CORE. What is Core? It is a Turing complete blockchain that is designed to overcome the blockchain trilemma, though its unique consensus mechanism, through its unique consensus mechanism. So this trilemma that everybody is trying to solve, has Core solved it? Apparently they have. This is not an advertisement, so I'm not going to jump into it more than that. But again, this was something that popped up on the radar. I think it's important to let you guys see what's happening. If somebody has solved the trilemma problem, that's big news. It is worth investigating for each and every one of you. Next up, we have analysts. My personal view is we are going to crab walk sideways for a bit longer. There are analysts that are saying we're going to go big, we're going to go down. You guys make your own decision. One of the analysts that I was looking at today says the Bitcoin is going to go up. And what was alarming, he said Solana is in some trouble and might see a serious retracement over the next 30 days or so. So these are things I like to put in my pipe when I decide to sit down with a recliner and a good beer and start smoking that pipe. So that is exactly what I'm doing, and I'm sharing that with you guys. And the secret sauce for today is, if you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way. Ho! Still craving crypto clarity? Subscribe to my Substack today. Warning, rare bits may cause hodling.